Hey there, y'all. Coming to you from RLI headquarters. This is Amber Chen, Vice President of RLI, and also the awesome wife of Mr. Timothy Chen, the CEO and founder. I am so excited to be spending just a couple of minutes with you. What I'm going to be doing this evening is helping you and guiding you on how to be the best visitor host in the whole wide world. And so my hope for you tonight is that you gain some understanding and knowledge on how to greet people when they walk into one of our meetings. And so that is the most important thing, and you have the most important job out of anyone in the whole company. Back when I first started RLI, I was the first visitor host. I was first a visitor host, I should say. I love that job because it gave me the opportunity to be in front of every single person that walked into that room. And so it is a huge benefit to be able to meet everyone, to get to know them by name, and to just have the opportunity to make someone feel warm and encouraged and uplifted as they walk through the door. I had a visitor stand up last week in my meeting, and she said it was like when I walked in that a welcoming committee was here, and I got welcomed by everyone, and it was so awesome, and I just loved it. And that is our hope. Our hope for your meeting is that people walk in, they feel encouraged, they feel uplifted, they leave feeling like they want to come back. If you want to think about it as they're walking into a family reunion. They may be walking into that room as a stranger, but our goal is that they leave with some kind of connection or some kind of relationship before they leave, and it may be with you. And so that's why first impressions are so crucial and so important. And it's all about how we present ourselves, how warm we are, how welcoming we are, and the environment. We want to create that environment for them. And so first things first, if you have not been added to the Dropbox, you need to be added to the Dropbox because there is a visitor host responsibilities paper, just like this. This is, visitor host responsibilities. You're going to need this. If you haven't got on Dropbox, you can send me a message on Facebook or email. My email is amber@referralleaders.com, and I can add you to the Dropbox so you can have access to these forms and also the forms from the visitor table. So the first thing on here is before and during the meeting. The first thing is you're always going to need to be early. When you show up, when you're the visitor host, you are responsible for being there, for setting up the room, for making sure that the tables are where they're supposed to be, making sure that the visitor table is set up the way it should be. We want it to look beautiful. When they walk in, we want the first thing, that table, just to be immaculate. We want them to be blown away by the class and the pristine work that went into that table. So at my chapter, we have a red tablecloth, and we have our visitor packets. It's a red satin tablecloth. And we have mints, and we try to make the table look very, very welcoming. And that is our hope, is that you will do the same. We want you to take pride in this. This is a job we want you to grip onto, and we want you to be like, man, I really love this job because I'm able to meet so many awesome people behind this table, and I'm able to introduce them to other people that could possibly be a connection of a lifetime for them. And when you look at it as an opportunity like that, it doesn't become just a task or just a job. And so I want you to look at it as this is yours. And this is something that I want you to do with passion. I want you to do with encouragement, because you are making a difference in these people's lives. They may have just walked in the room and had the most worst day ever. And you have the opportunity to encourage and uplift them first. You're the first one. And so that's why it's so crucial for you to have that warm, welcoming spirit. And so they may have had the worst year in business in their life. And they're walking into this room and they're looking for hope from someone. And it may just be a warm smile. It may be you taking them and introducing them to someone that they needed to meet that day. But it's just a huge job. And I can't stress the responsibility and how awesome it is to have people do this position. And so you always want to be at least 30 minutes early. My meeting starts at 11:30, and I like my visitor host there no later than 10:40. I like my visitor table set up by 11 o'clock on the dot. The reason for this is because you always are going to have people show up early. Visitors always show up early. So if you say your meeting is at 11:30, people are going to start showing up at 11 o'clock. So you want to have the table ready to go at least 30 minutes prior to your meeting starting. The second thing is you will have the packet of stuff. So you have visitor packets, all your forms, the table, the sign-in forms, the business card book, everything that you need is in your packet. So you need to take that home and you need to make that yours. Now, I'm not saying that one specific person should take it home every week. It should be a shared job. It should be something that's passed back between the visitor host. I have taken it home so many times it's been ridiculous, even in my chapter now. And it's okay. You have to take it home. And what we ask is when you do take it home, that you treat it as if it's a responsibility for you. And so we want you to go through the information. We want you to go through the packets. We want you to make sure everything's organized for the next week and that everything is ready to go, that you have enough visitor packets, that you have enough forms for the next week, that you have enough of everything that you're going to need for the meeting the next week. The next job that we ask is that you make sure that you have all of your members bring 1 week a stack of their business cards. We would like for the business card book to be filled up ahead of time. So we don't want members coming in and going through the book and filling up the book with their business cards. That's not how we roll. We want that done ahead of time. So if you could send an email to your chapter and say, hey, bring me a stack of your business cards this week, that would be great. That way you can keep them in your supplies and then just refill them as they're needed. The next thing is you maintain control of the member sign-in sheet and recording attendance book. So when you have visitors come and they sign in, you get them to sign in on the sheet and fill in their information, but you're also going to get 2 business cards from them. So when they walk in at the table, the conversation may be something like this. Hey there, good to see you today. So glad you're here. Who are you a visitor of today? And, they'll say, oh, I'm a guest of Ron today. Oh, you know what? Ron is one of our best members, and we are so thankful that you decided to come and join us for lunch today. What's your name? And then they'll tell you their name. Well, what do you do? And then you ask them what they do. And then it leads on into a conversation. And that's when you say, you know what, can I grab 2 of your business cards? And then we're going to go ahead and get you signed in here. And you always mark down the information, a line down beside the information that they need to fill out on the sign-in form. And I'll just say, fill this out and we'll get you all registered. And then I've got a special treat for you, because I'm going to take you and introduce you to someone that's going to be an awesome connection for you. And so they fill out the information, and I'll say, you know what, come on with me, and we're going to go meet Ed. I think he would be a great person for you to meet. Or if they would prefer, that you can take them to the person that invited them and have them introduce them to someone in the room. But the number one thing that you want to do is you want to make them feel welcome. And you never want to leave them just wandering the room. So you always want them to feel like they're with someone, they're not alone. And so you don't ever just hand them a visitor packet and then let them wander the room. That's not how we roll either. So before you take them to the person that is going to be showing them around the room, I always take everything out of the visitor packet. And I'll say, you know what, I'm going to give you a visitor packet, but I want to go through it with you real quick. And I'll say, in the visitor packet, you're going to find a yellow sheet. On one side is some benefits of RLI, and on the other side is a guided list of how we introduce ourselves here at RLI. So you're going to have 20 seconds today to tell us about your business. But don't worry, because members are going to go first. So you'll be able to take notes. Just be sure and take this yellow sheet out before the infomercial time, so you'll be able to take notes on it. I'll say there's membership guidelines in there if you'd like to be part of our chapter. And then there's a member application and credit card form in there. In case you'd like to be part of our chapter, you need to fill this out today, okay? And then there's a survey form in there. This is the most important sheet of paper in this packet. We really want to get this back from you today. So if you fill it out and give it back to me before you leave, that would be so awesome. And then I just put everything back together, and I put it back in the packet, and I hand it to them, and then I take them and make the introduction to the person that I hand them off to. And a nice way to do that is you know, if I take so-and-so over to Ed and I say, hey, Ed, this is so-and-so. He's a guest of Ron today. Would you please do the honor of taking care of him and making sure that he gets introduced to some awesome people? And, of course, Ed's going to say, oh, right on. We're going to take great care of him, and let me just introduce you. And then that's when you step away and you step back to the visitor table. So it's a very simple process, but in the process, you're having the opportunity to encourage, uplift, and just give them a warm smile, a warm spirit, something that they can connect to. And so that's the most important thing of being a visitor host, is that you are just warm and welcoming. So you always want to have someone at the table that's upbeat, someone that's positive, someone that's smiling, someone that's warm and welcoming. That is so, so important. So after the meeting ends, you know, for one, you want to always watch and make sure your main visitor host for the day wants to make sure if anyone comes in late, you want to make sure and grab 2 business cards from that person and then make sure that they get a visitor packet. We don't want anyone at the end of the meeting without a visitor packet. It's very important to make sure. At the end, the 2 stacks of cards. One stack, when the meeting begins, will go to your president nonchalantly. Your president needs to know who's in the room, so they'll be better at talking directly to the visitors. And so this will help people when it comes to joining. So we want to make sure that you nonchalantly, after the meeting starts, you can just take them up and set them on the table in front of the president, or you can take them up and quietly hand them to them. It doesn't matter. You want to just make sure that one stack gets in the president's hands. The other stack will go into your pink bag for the drawing. And so at the end of the meeting, we normally have little giveaways, or if your group brings giveaways to give away, and then also the drawing for the speaker. So you want to put the business cards in that bag so that they can be in the drawing as well. Then after the meeting, your job as visitor host is to make sure that no one leaves without giving their survey in. We love survey forms. Survey forms tell us specifically what day would work best for someone that's visiting. They also tell us what they liked about the meeting, what they didn't like about the meeting. And so they're so crucial to get back, and your presidents really, really, really appreciate it. So it's so important to make sure you get those survey forms. You know, what I used to do is I'd stand at the back of the room next to the door, and I would say, hey, it was so great to have you today. And I'll get in a conversation with them just a little while, and then I'll say, you know, did you fill out your survey form? Because I'm not going to let you leave without it. And they'll kind of laugh, you know. Or I'll just kind of make a joke and I'll be like, where's your survey form? I need that, you know. And so you just want to do it in a very high-spirited way. You want them to feel maybe a little chuckle in their belly like they didn't get it to you. And so they were caught in the act, I guess you'd say. But you want to do it in a very warm, welcoming way. You want them to know that you care about their survey. That is the most important thing of asking for the survey. You want them to know that you care what they thought, and it's important to you. And so we want to get those back. And once you get the survey forms, make sure those get to your president so they can do the follow-up on those. And then after the meeting, you just clean up. You pick up all the forms on the table. And you clean up everything and put it in the bin, and whoever takes the bin home that week is the person that will bring it next week, and that needs to be there no later than 30 minutes before the meeting. They need to have the table set up 30 minutes before the meeting, so even before that, more like 45 minutes. And so I hope this video was beneficial to you. I hope that You guys go out and you make the best welcome committee in the whole wide world. If I could do this job, I would do it every single day at every single meeting because it's so exciting to meet new people. You have the opportunity in doing this job to meet every single new person that walks into your group. How cool is that? This is a huge responsibility. You're not only representing you, you're representing RLI. And we hope that you take that serious and that you know that this is such a great thing to be doing. And so I want to end you on that note. And if you have any questions about anything that has to do with the visitor host program or being a visitor host, please, please, please feel free to email me. My email, once again, is amber@referralleaders.com. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful day or evening or whenever you're watching this. Take care.